Montana is a state in the Mountain West region of the United States. It is bordered by Idaho to the west, North Dakota and South Dakota to the east, Wyoming to the south, and by the Canadian provinces of Alberta, British Columbia, and Saskatchewan to the north. It is the fourth largest state by area, the eighth least populous state, and the third least densely populated state. The western half of Montana contains numerous mountain ranges, while the eastern half is characterized by western prairie terrain and badlands, with more mountain ranges found throughout the state. In all, 77 named ranges are part of the Rocky Mountains. Montana has no official nickname but several unofficial ones, most notably, Big Sky Country, the Treasure State, Land of the Shining Mountains, and the Last Best Place. The economy is primarily based on agriculture, including ranching and cereal grain farming. Other significant economic resources include oil, gas, coal, mining, and lumber. The health care, service, and government sectors also are significant to the state's economy. Montana's fastest growing sector is tourism. Nearly 13 million annual tourists visit Glacier National Park, Yellowstone National Park, Beartooth Highway, Flathead Lake, Big Sky Resort, and other attractions. The name Montana comes from the Spanish word montana, which in turn comes from the Latin word montania, meaning mountain, or more broadly, mountainous country. Montana del Norte was the name given by early Spanish explorers to the entire mountainous region of the West. The name Montana was added in 1863 to a bill by the United States House Committee on Territories, who complained Montana had no meaning. When Ashley presented a bill to establish a temporary government in 1864 for a new territory to be carved out of Idaho, he again chose Montana Territory. This time, Rep. Samuel Cox, also of Ohio, objected to the name. Cox complained the name was a misnomer given most of the territory was not mountainous and a Native American name would be more appropriate than a Spanish one. Other names such as Shoshone were suggested, but the Committee on Territories decided they could name it whatever they wanted. So the original name of Montana was adopted. Montana is one of the 8 mountain states, located in the north of the region known as the Western United States. It borders North Dakota and South Dakota to the east. Wyoming is to the south. Idaho is to the west and southwest. And the Canadian provinces of British Columbia, Alberta, and Saskatchewan are to the north, making it the only state to border 3 Canadian provinces, with an area of 147,040 square miles. Montana is slightly larger than Japan. It is the 4th largest state in the United States after Alaska, Texas, and California. It is the largest landlocked state. The state's topography is roughly defined by the Continental Divide, which splits much of the state into distinct eastern and western regions. Most of Montana's 100 or more named mountain ranges are in the state's western half, most of which is geologically and geographically part of the northern Rocky Mountains. The Absaroka and Beartooth ranges in the state's south-central part are technically part of the Central Rocky Mountains. The Rocky Mountain front is a significant feature in the state's north-central portion, and isolated island ranges that interrupt the prairie landscape common in the central and eastern parts of the state. About 60% of the state is prairie, part of the northern Great Plains. The Bitterroot Mountains, one of the longest continuous ranges in the Rocky Mountain chain from Alaska to Mexico, along with smaller ranges, including the Coeur d'Alene Mountains and the Cabinet Mountains, divide the state from Idaho. The southern third of the Bitterroot Range blends into the Continental Divide. Other major mountain ranges west of the divide include the Cabinet Mountains, the Anaconda Range, the Missions, the Garnet Range, the Sapphire Mountains, and the Flint Creek Range. The divide's northern section, where the mountains rapidly give way to prairie, is part of the Rocky Mountain front. The front is most pronounced in the Lewis Range, located primarily in Glacier National Park. Due to the configuration of mountain ranges in Glacier National Park, the northern divide crosses this region and turns east in Montana at Triple Divide Peak. It causes the Waterton River, Belly, and St. Mary rivers to flow north into Alberta, Canada. There they join the Saskatchewan River, which ultimately empties into Hudson Bay. East of the divide, several roughly parallel ranges cover the state's southern part, including the Gravely Range, Madison Range, Gallatin Range, Absaroka Mountains, and Beartooth Mountains. The Beartooth Plateau is the largest continuous land mass over 10,000 feet high in the continental United States. It contains the state's highest point, Granite Peak, 12,799 feet high. North of these ranges are